If vegetables are the least used food in the standard American diet, then green leafy vegetables are the most scarce. And it's a shame because these are the most highly nutritious foods that you could put into your body. These people think of leafy greens, they think lettuce, romaine, iceberg. You know, that's nothing compared to this. There's a plethora of vitamins and minerals in dark leafy greens. Calcium, beta-carotene, iron. I mean, you name it. These are amazing. So I would suggest that you put them into your body where they can do some good. So before, we made a deep root sesame saute, and that was roots into the ground. Well, this is uplifting energy, right? These are coming up out of the ground. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just going to take off the bottom. This is where nutrients travel from the soil up into here. So I want to make the bottom of this just a little bit smaller. I'm going to take a whole bunch of these, actually. I'm just going to take off the very bottom, which could be a little woody. We're going to take this and make this a little bit larger, but I'm going to put this into a steamer basket. I have boiling some water, just an inch of water, and this is a stainless steel steamer basket. You can get this at any kitchen supply store for like $3. And in here I have about an inch of water, and I'm putting in my steamer basket, and this is boiling. It's on a high heat, and I'm gonna put those stems that are a little harder than the rest of it in first. So those stems are going in. I'm gonna close it up, and then I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger. And you could just take the whole bunch and chop it up, or if you want, you could rip it with your hands. You don't need to cut it. So while those bottoms are cooking, I'm gonna start making our sauce. This is a steamed greens dish with a creamy sesame tahini sauce. It's so delicious. You know, a lot of people don't eat greens because they can have a bitter flavor. But just like coffee, people jack up their coffee with sugar and milk and cream. Jack up your greens. We're gonna put a nice sauce on there. So I'm taking some scallions, probably just three or four. You know, maybe a half bunch. I'm taking off the ends. I'm just getting these little ratty ends there. I'm gonna put this in. I mean, greens only take like 3 to 4 minutes to cook, and they're gonna boil down. They're gonna be so delicious. You're gonna be happy that you put this into your diet. We're gonna take our scallions, and because I'm using a food processor, I'm just gonna chop these into chunks because the food processor is gonna do the rest for me. If you don't have a food processor and all you have is a blender, cut this smaller because otherwise the blender may not be able to catch all of it. I'm also using a half bunch of parsley. And again, all I have to do is just chunk this up. You can use the ends, you can use the tops. A lot of people throw away the ends of the parsley, but again, this is nutrients here. It's highly nutritious food. Don't toss it out, just take off the ends, the very ends. I'm putting in like a 1/3 cup of tahini, and tahini is sesame seeds, ground sesame seeds, and it's rich in calcium. So this is like a real nutritional bang of calcium. You have your calcium in your greens, you have your calcium in your tahini. I'm putting in a little bit of shoyu, or a naturally fermented soy sauce. And you guys have the recipe. Just follow it exactly the way that it is. I'm putting in some umeboshi vinegar. You know, I'm putting in about, 2 to 3 tablespoons of umeboshi vinegar, 2 to 3 tablespoons of shoyu. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of water, maybe about a cup. But I'm not gonna add this yet, because otherwise this will squirt all over the place. So I'm just gonna cover this up. And while we're doing this, our greens are nicely steaming, right? I wanna start to pulse this first before I put the water in. And then we're gonna slowly add our water. The more water you add, the thinner the consistency is. So I'm adding about a cup because I'm making a nice creamy dressing. And by the time this is done, our greens should be done. So we take a look at these. You don't want to overcook these. You just want to make them till they're nice and bright. See how bright this is? Bright green, and they're soft. They're soft enough to eat. So here's where my favorite tool in the whole world comes in handy. Tongs, baby. I'm taking some tongs. I'm getting in there, getting my greens out. Nice plate of greens. And I'm just gonna top that with a little bit of sauce. Now you could use this tahini dressing on anything, but I love it on greens. Like I said, you know, jack up your greens, make them delicious, you know what I mean? And there you have it. Greens with creamy tahini dressing.